Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing a review slash recap on episode 6 of Lovecraft Country titled Meet Me in Diago, and I hope I said that right. But this episode plays a lot with genre. This takes place in 1949 and 1950s South Korea. We meet a young woman by the name of Jaya, a young Korean woman who is in the movie theaters watching a Judy Garland film by the name of Meet Me in St. Louis. That movie, it came out in 1944. You gotta think, I wasn't thought of, my parents weren't thought of. By the way, this is not the last of Judy Garland that you'll see. This happens to be a running theme within this episode as it means something to the character Jaya. Jaya is played by the lovely Jamie Chung, of whose career I have seen grow and develop in beautiful ways. So it's nice to see her working, and I'm glad that she scored an episode of Lovecraft Country. Not an episode, I'm pretty sure she'll be in more episodes. But Jaya is a nurse who happens to also be a kumio, and I hope I said that right. It's a nine-tailed fox spirit that is summoned into the form of a woman in order to avenge the wrongdoing by men. She was summoned by a woman whose daughter was abused by her own husband. The nine-tailed fox killed this woman's husband, and now in an effort to get her daughter back, she puts pressure on this kumio in an effort to not only get her daughter back, but also the respect that she feels she deserves ever since she's lost her husband. So since she's lost her husband, she hasn't received much respect from her neighbors and people around her. This discussion is happening all while Uma, also her mother, is prepping enough kimchi to last her until the spring. While in anatomy class, Jaya's classmates are gossiping about the upcoming speed dating event that's going to happen that night. We overhear Unja, her best friend, say that her last date fell in love with her. We cut to Jaya as she's in this speed dating event, and it's not going so well for her at all, as we see that she's had no matches. But her friend Unja matched with the guy that she was actually interested in. Unja invites her out for a coffee date with the guy that she was interested in, but Jaya declines. We then see Jaya out and about at a bar, and she eyes a man who's also looking at her, and she's interested in him, so she ends up bringing him home, and they have a moment. Just as things get a little more heated, Jaya impales him with her 9 tails. Crazy, and it was nasty. As she does this, she sees flashes of this guy's past. He then explodes, and Uma walks in immediately, and she's like, "I've got the broom, don't worry, baby. Oh, by the way, you got 10 more to go." We flash forward to summer of 1950. Jaya is watching another Judy Garland film by the name of Easter Parade. We then hear tanks outside of the theater. They all walk out to see what the heck is going on for the movie I done paid for and the popcorn I done spilt for scaring me. We see American soldiers handing out flyers, well, rather throwing them out to the people, and it says there's nothing to fear, the United States is here. So then Jaya is back at home, and her mother is making tteokguk because it's her birthday, which Jaya didn't know because, of course, she's not human. She only shares her daughter's memories, her real daughter's memories. Other than that, she doesn't know much about what's going on in the human world. Jaya shares with Uma that she sees the past of all the men that she's been physically involved with. The same happened to her ever since she claimed Uma's husband's soul. Uma is quick to remind her that she has 2 more souls to take in order for her debt to be paid to the shaman. Once that happens, Jaya will become human again. Uma suggests to her that she brings home an American soldier. While at the hospital, nurses are tending to the wounded American soldiers. They're all hurt pretty badly, and we see that this one soldier grabs Jaya by the arm and literally snaps it, but nothing happens because, again, she's not human. Later, as Unja and Jaya are walking home, Jaya mentions to Unja that she knows that she's a communist, but Jaya appreciates the difference of belief. We then see a public hanging of a man that they accuse to be a communist, and this happens in front of the American soldiers. Jaya looks at one of the American soldiers, and then we cut to a scene where Uma is cleaning up his blood off the floor. Jaya then sings a song of which Uma claims to remember teaching her daughter. Then Jaya quickly snaps at her, saying that she didn't teach her the song, and that song is a memory of the unfortunate events that happened between her daughter and her father. But she doesn't want to take another soul, and she confesses that to Uma. We see that Jaya, along with the other nurses, are lined up as the American soldiers reveal that there happens to be a communist spy amongst them. They start shooting random nurses as no one has come forward until finally Unja confesses when Atticus puts a gun to Jaya's head. They take Unja away. So we are back at the hospital, summer of 1950. J.Ah. spots an injured Atticus at the hospital, and she is clearly angry with him. We cut to J.Ah. telling Uma that she will indeed, in fact, take her next soul. Back at the hospital, Atticus asks her if she'll read the next few chapters for him of his book called The Count of Monte Cristo. So she purposely just tells him the ending, but it was the ending of the movie, not the actual book. While outside, J.Ah. gets to know Atticus a little bit more while he's also conversating with his friend. This is when Atticus reveals the truth about how Black Americans are treated in America. This is also when his fellow soldier, of whom is of Korean descent, reveals that he was drafted into the war. Whereas Atticus volunteered for the war, J.Ah. bonds with Atticus. She is starting to catch feelings for him. She then shows up at his base for a date. She had to pretend that she was a prostitute in order to get onto the base. But it was basically their date night. And Atticus surprises her with a Judy Garland film called Summer Stock. And this is all with the help of Uncle George. J.Ah. takes him back to her place. They have their moment together, and she pushes Atticus off of her and tells him to leave, as she has feelings for him, but she's also this creature and she doesn't want to take his soul. This angers Uma, which results in Uma spitting on her. The next day, J.Ah. then shows up on base again, and J.Ah. yells at Atticus for killing her friend. This then makes Atticus question why she would go on a date with him knowing that he killed her best friend. But they both agree that they can overcome their past actions. They then make love, and then J.Ah. is able to control her tails. J.Ah. confesses her love for Atticus to Uma, of whom is not pleased, and reminds J.Ah. that she will eventually kill him. And even if she was to confess to him what she was, he wouldn't accept her. He would never love her. In winter of 1950, J.Ah. is reading Atticus The Legend of the Kumiho to Atticus as an attempt, as a way to tell him what she truly is. Atticus tells her that he's earned enough points to go back home to America, and he wants to take her with him. They make love, and then, unfortunately, her tails come out to play. She can no longer control them. Her tails attach to Atticus, and then she's able to see his past, and also his future. We also see Letty in there somewhere. Atticus is freaked out by what happened, and he gets the heck out of there, like running out the door, straight butt naked. For our last scene, we then see that J.Ah. meets up with the shaman along with Uma. J.Ah. then asks the shaman about Atticus and his death. Is it true? Does it occur? And the shaman calmly says that she will definitely see countless deaths before her journey is over. I really like the premise of this episode. I like the fact that we are digging back into Atticus's past of what happened in Korea, because it's honestly scarred him in some way. I wonder what's going to happen in the next episode. And will J.Ah. somehow come between him and Letty's relationship? That would be pretty interesting. I believe that what he experienced with J.Ah. definitely allowed him to open his mind up to what else is out there in this world as far as magic and just things that are just so unimaginable to the human mind. Comment down below if you've seen this episode. What did you guys think? Do you have any theories for the next episode or even for this episode? Comment down below, let me know, and I will see you in the next review. Bye.